Silent alarm activated.
All right, welcome everyone. Tonight we will be discussing the element of air and the environmental impact that we all have on that element. The wind in your face, the gentle bird song in the morning hours, the glorious fluffs of cloud passing through the sky, and that wonderful release of taking a deep breath. These are all sources of air magic. Air magic is all around us and inside of us every day. Stand in the wind and just appreciate it. Burn incense during your magical workings, or get lost in a beautiful piece of music. Read a book. Learn a new skill. Change your mind about how something should be done. Including this element into your days in a mindful and purposeful way will have you feeling more in tune with the natural world as well as with yourself. We just need to open our minds and be aware that we are doing it. Air is a most vital element of life. We cannot see it, but it is always there for us. It is often taken for granted. We can feel it and see its effects, and sometimes it can be heard. If you have ever experienced a hurricane, you remember it sounding like a train thundering between the houses. Much like the other three basic elements, earth, fire, and water, air can bring life or destruction, depending on the application. It is important for us to make space in our days for that powerful natural energy. Being mindful of this will enrich your connection to nature, bringing balance and powerful magic to your practice. The air is said to be in the east. It relates to the mind, intellect, creativity, and freedom. This energy is associated with light, springtime, newness, the dawn of a new day. Air is associated with the senses of hearing and smell. Sound cannot travel in a vacuum. It takes air to play your favorite song. We can stay mindful of this by hanging wind chimes on our patio, right, Alana? You could not enjoy the scent of that fresh apple pie just coming from the oven without it wafting your way on the air. We show appreciation for this by using smoke and incense in our rituals. This is one way in which we can call the element of air when we are doing magic. Plants ruled by air would be the most fragrant ones, like lavender, rosemary, or peppermint. Inhale deeply to be grateful to the air. The way in which the plant propagates may also determine some correspondence as well, like in the case of the dandelions. They use the air in which to send out their seeds, and many plants do the same thing. Just make a wish and blow. Air energy is projective, which means it is considered masculine and electrical, strong and active, outgoing and protective. It corresponds to the throat chakra, which makes sense because it is air that passes over the vocal cords to produce sound. The colors we often choose for the east altars are yellow, white, and blue, with images of yellow sunrise and white fluffy clouds and blue skies. But some folks believe any pastel colors could represent the east and air. Why do you think that's true? What other colors would you use to represent the air?
Peach.
Peach. Why would you choose peach?
Because it's airy and light. Right?
And also, just saying the word peach, you smell it.
White, I think.
White is your go-to?
Light purple, like the sunsets in the sky.
Think
Yeah.
of a sunset,
And lavender is
and sunrise.
so, and that's also a fragrance. And I was thinking of like a spring green,
Spring
Right,
green,
the
pale
leaves.
yellows.
pale yellow. Yeah.
Fresh mown lawn.
Anybody at home have any pink stick?
Yeah, I would say.
Hold on.
Yeah, I would say as you're referencing the pastels, think of sunrise and sunset. It's those
sun,
colors of the sky. It's more than blue. I'm sorry.
There we go. No, it was on our end. We're good. What were you saying, Brood?
Oh, I said when you're thinking of those pastels, think of all the colors of a sunrise and sunset. These are all sky colors.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Or a rainbow in the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
So it really could be any color. All right. Now, all birds and flying insects can represent the element of air, as well as quite a few mythical creatures. Given the choice of superpowers, most people would pick flight, or at least a ride on a dragon.
Yes.
Grab your wand, athame, sword, or crochet hook when doing spells associated with air for safe travel, clear communication, freedom, or divination. Ask for creativity, mental clarity, and psychic abilities from the east and air. And be sure to hold a piece of smoky quartz or lapis lazuli or a pumice stone in your hand for good measure. When I was doing my research, it blew me away to think that a pumice stone is a stone that is infused with the element of air.
Is that what that is? I was soap on a rope.
No, it's a stone. I think that may be a lava rock. This would have earth, air, and fire. Right? Okay. I selected the crystals for depression, right? Jet, lapis lazuli, and smoky quartz would make a nice combination. When you are suffering from depression, this is not a cure, please. Take your medication, talk to your doctor. Depression is a real disease. But if you got a blue day, making yourself a little pouch with lapis lazuli or smoky quartz in it, lavender, and carrying it with you couldn't hurt, right? Burning some incense for rosemary, lavender, peppermint would lift your spirits, and that's what these things do. So that's the element of air we're talking about, because it will lift your spirits, right? And it does bring mental clarity. Did you know that if you're going to take a test, you should chew a piece of peppermint gum or eat a piece of peppermint candy? It actually stimulates the synapses in your brain and will make you recall what you've studied easier. Now I'm telling you this,
Yeah,
right?
right,
You
yeah.
couldn't use that.
So will rosemary.
Rosemary too.
Yeah, that I have. heard,
Any
but nice
smell,
it is.
you know, the smell the rosemary. I have a big rosemary bush in my front yard, and as I pass it, I just rub it and just
What about
love it.
using a combination like rosemary, smelling it, but then chewing like peppermint, like at the same time?
Mm-hmm. Your head will
Yeah,
go
that's
open.
exactly right. It could not hurt at all.
Einstein,
Yeah.
right
Third eye
there.
will be like,
That's
"Ah."
the Einstein combination with a with a smoky quartz in your fist. You're good. Okay. So meditation and visualization are both very airy activities taking place in the mind and engaging all the senses by way of imagination. Let's try that. Let's put on some music.
We're doing that. Ann said she always used rosemary for study and recall and tests and worked like a charm.
There you go.
And she liked the color of silver because the way it shimmers reminds her of the air.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yep.
Silver. Yeah. Very good. Thank you, Ann. Okay, I'm going to start some pretty music with some bird sounds in it. Just relax and listen to that music. I'm going to light a little lavender incense. Fire is next week.
The fire stick is your friend. There she goes.
Would you walk around with that, honey?
Yes.
Get on
It's
this
great when
roof.
fire and air made smoke.
Mhm. So we've got beautiful music. We've got the scent of lavender. It's just makes it so dreamy.
Cheers for everybody.
That's where the imagination part comes in. Alright, so everybody close your eyes. And imagine yourself walking out into a field of lavender. Beautiful, fragrant lavender. The air is warm, but the breeze cools your skin and swirls the scent around your head till you are just a little dizzy, but in a good way. You are positively floating, floating on the breeze. When you spy 4 majestic creatures in the middle of the field, you decide to take a closer look. Closer inspection, you find that there are 3 majestic creatures, a griffin with the head of an eagle and the body of a lion. There is a dragon with pearlescent scales reflecting the sun. Also a Pegasus, a flying horse with wings as white as the clouds in the sky. And there is a fourth creature. What is that? Is that a pig? Suddenly, the earth beneath your feet starts to rumble, and the ground surrounding the lavender meadow begins to crack. Out of the ground, like a giant's fingers, come shards of smoky quartz crystals to impossible heights. There is no time to lose. Quickly, you must choose a creature and climb upon its back. You know you are taking a risk here, but you choose to trust your intuition and go for it. Fortunately, your steed seems to understand your need, and the second you settle atop the mighty beast, it jumps into the air and soars up and over the smoky towers. Up, up, up into the clouds you go. It is exhilarating. It is exciting. It is terrifying. And just before you begin focusing your mind to conjure a parachute, you remember the music and the scent of the lavender, and you calm yourself enough that you notice that your flying partner is speaking to you. Don't be rude. Listen for a while and fly among the clouds with your newfound friend. Been flying for quite a while now. The clouds are taking on the rosy hues of sunset. As you look out over the horizon, you notice the clouds taking on a vibrant, bubblegum kind of pink. Oh, for goodness sakes, it's the pig. And someone is riding it. Someone chose the flying pig. I guess they needed the impossible to happen. Anything can happen up here in the mind's eye, riding a mythical creature through the clouds. It looks like things are settling down again on the ground, though. So your steed lands effortlessly, and you slide off their back and onto the ground like it is second nature to you. Bid farewell for now. You can return any time and talk and fly again. But for now, listen to the music. Smell the lavender. And when you are ready, stretch and breathe and open your eyes. All right, who's riding that pig?
Not me. It's a dragon. Riding it like Falcor.
Me.
Going back and forth is not good for it.
No, it's fine.
Everybody can unmute yourself.
Can you hear him?
You've muted the Grove.
Dragon. Like a flying Chinese thing. And it's told me some cool things, but just to kind of let me know, hey, keep things in mind, positive things.
Good.
I rode the Griffin,
Did you ride the Griffin?
and he was not happy with, he was happy with me.
Okay.
He asked me to help with the earth.
Yeah.
They're sad.
Oh. Yeah. These mythical creatures are from this earth. They are forgotten by so many people. We need
I'd
to
like to let you
ride
know
them.
while you're doing your presentation on air, I just had a bee fly up to the store and up to the door.
Nice.
They were trying to get in. The bee. Yeah, the bee is definitely
Who rode
silly.
the bee? Who rode the bee?
I think Chris was riding the bee.
That
Chris
might
was
have been-
riding the bee.
I was riding the Pegasus.
Ah.
I think it's like their kind of sort of situation.
Yeah. It was nice. He told
I was
me
riding the
that
pig.
you have to accept that certain misfortunes have to happen in certain measure, and that if they're going to happen, you want to bend the fates, as I did, to make sure it happens with the least amount of harm if it must occur.
Absolutely. That's very mature advice.
I would imagine flying horses tend to have a lot of sage advice and very wise. I think I
I'm
know.
sure dragons do too.
But I was
Yeah.
gonna. Yeah, this is, and I mean,
And
all know.
even flying pigs have a lot to teach us.
Anything that can fly.
My
It's
pig
over
thought
us.
it was hilarious to dump me off and then come under and catch me.
Whee!
I'm gonna drop you. I like to pay.
We all
They
think.
seem very playful.
Yep.
I think we all know which one Oksana chose.
Actually, I chose the Griffin.
Ah, the griffin.
Surprise!
Can you tell us a bit about the significance of which creature it was?
Well, there's no.
Personal choice.
Yeah, it's just personal choice. Of course, their dragon magic is a thing. Horse magic is a thing, and even pigs. Pigs are
They are
pigs
a
are very
magical animal.
intelligent.
Yep.
A lot of food sources come from them. Yeah.
No, they're smart. They're problem
smart.
solving
Oh,
smart.
yeah.
They're smart, they're tenacious.
Raven-
And they taste great.
And they taste great.
Ravens, pigs, and octopuses. That'll be the next three that take over the world.
I saw them all as representations of certain elemental combinations, where a dragon would be air and fire, a pig would be air and earth, the horse is associated with the oceans and the water, so the Pegasus is air and water. The griffin could be a combination of many things.
Yes.
By its very nature, it's a combination.
It's an eagle, and it's a lion,
And it has wings.
and it has wings.
Well, it can also, again, be a fire and air and earth combination, almost a three. The earth of the lion, the air of the eagle. But I think the fire, lions can be fire too.
Yeah, well, you'd have to ask the individuals and what they picked, and then what kind of energy they got from them. The griffin conveyed sadness. He's concerned with the earth. You know, what did the griffin? Was there a strength there with the griffin?
Very much so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a protector. The
Yeah, I
griffin,
felt very protected.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that with the pig too. Very grounded to them, very just a centralizing, grounding, like everything is fine.
Right. Good. Anybody else have any comments?
I
on
saw Oksana fly in the air next to me, but she was wearing a witch hat. Only I couldn't see what she was riding. I swear.
It was a griffin.
They were on the same griffin.
Well, Moonlight, I guess I'll fly in to meet you tomorrow.
Save
All
the
right,
gas money, that's for
good
sure.
Very good. Okay. I guess we
Anyone
will.
else? Well, Raven, did you want to say something? She just unmuted.
I was just letting you know that Anne had a comment in the chat that her dragon communicated letting go of the past and having trust, courage, and faith in the future.
Very nice.
Yeah, kind of more or less what mine is.
Excellent. Excellent.
Horses are spirits of travel, and obviously I had my little vehicular incident before coming here, so I suppose that's why we went together, was a little AWAS action.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I was on the Pegasus as well.
Nice.
I was on the pig.
You were on the pig too?
Pig.
You needed something impossible to happen.
It'll always be unique and be different.
Right?
That's why I was drawn to the pig. It's like, what is?
Whenever I read and hear about flying pigs, I just remember Diana Wynne Jones as the Dark Lord of Dirktown. How Dirk, who's really not a Dark Lord at all, but he was forced to play one for out-of-world tourists. He had his flying pigs. He breeds like magical creatures. He has these flying pigs, and he's forced to paint them black and pretend they're like demonic creatures, and they're really just having fun playing with everybody.
So you've got a sense of whimsy there too. You've got a little comic relief, you know? Maybe sometimes you need that to keep your sense of humor with what's going on around you. You got to take out the flying pig.
I remember saying
Anne
my
said the
grandmother
flight was
used to
fantastic.
say, when pigs fly.
When
Yeah.
pigs fly.
Oh yeah.
I have a flying pig at home too.
Do you?
It's in brass.
Yep, I've seen him. He's cool.
All right, we'll go on. So much depends on the air. We should be grateful to the mother for her breath. It is our breath and our life. So what are we going to do to show our gratitude and respect? Okay, here we go. Here's the part of the presentation where we talk about our responsibility. And first we'll talk a little bit about air pollution. Air pollution is the contamination of air due to the presence of substances in the atmosphere that are harmful to the health of humans and other living beings, or cause damage to the climate or to materials. There are many different types of air pollutants, such as gases, particulates, and biological molecules. Air pollution can cause diseases, allergies, and even death to humans. It can also cause harm to other living organisms, such as animals and food crops, and may damage the natural environment or built environment. Both human activity and natural processes can generate air pollution. So, what is a human to do? Because we have a certain amount of control over our actions, and we have avenues to follow to encourage the actions of the powers that be at times. We can minimize the pollution caused by cars with carpooling and car maintenance. A tuned car with properly inflated tires will emit less gases. Try not to idle for extended periods of time. My mother-in-law actually has a car that shuts itself off at red lights.
I do.
Do you have a car that does that too? It takes a little getting used to, doesn't it?
It does.
Because the first time it happened, I was like, what happened? The car shut off. But she's like, no, it'll come back on when I release the brake. And it did. I was like,
When I picked up my car,
Mm-hmm.
and it was at night.
Yeah, so you can take your foot
Okay.
off. It
It
starts
was
up.
dark. They didn't tell me that it had this feature.
oh,
So I am driving to your house, actually, okay, and I'm at a light, and the car turns off. I'm like, what the hell? So
Ran out of gas.
I'm like turning off the key and pushing buttons, and all of a sudden it starts up again. And I'm like, what? So I'm driving, and I stop, and it turns off again.
it's possessed.
So finally I pulled over and I got my book really
Right.
fast, and there it was, but they never told me it did that. That's part of the Echo Smart thing, right?
Right?
Mhm.
Now
So
I'm used to it.
be aware that that could happen if you get a new car.
Dealer did it on purpose.
Another thing we can do is combine trips to reduce mileage. So gonna run your errands, run them in a nice little circle, and do the least amount. Yes.
So, I'm not sure if this counts as air pollution, but noise pollution, which deals with the sound, right?
Mhm.
So, like, it's all kinds of, it takes away from listening to nature and the natural and all the honkity honk honks everywhere kind of thing. Is like, that could very much take away from the natural experiences outside kind of thing. And I think that could be a form of, we can try to reduce that as well.
More than just taking away that beauty, it can actually affect the life cycles of animals.
Yeah.
When you've got the sound of machinery,
Yeah.
factories, or just that bass, will actually disrupt their mating rituals and everything else. Because a lot of nature, it relies on certain cycles and certain
Kitties and doggies will get freaked out.
freaked out, can't do nothing, right? We don't want that. We should be respectful when we're out in nature. We don't need to bring the boom box with us every
Yeah,
time.
right,
Just
yeah.
just let that brook babble and just listen to those birds. They will serenade us.
Mm.
Okay. We can reduce air pollution by recycling and buying recycled goods. Okay? We can do that because it takes less energy to remake something than it does to start from the raw materials, right? And there's also like a transportation thing involved too, of shipping raw materials to the factory. It's already there, right, in raw materials. We can choose sustainable goods and choose sustainable companies. We can vote with our dollars. Let's take one for instance, paper. Okay, 1 ton of recycled paper saves over 4,000 kilowatt hours of energy. 11 barrels of oil, 60 pounds of pollutants in the air, 7,000 gallons of water, 3 cubic yards in the landfill, and 17 trees.
Wow.
And you say, Alma, that's a ton of paper. How long does it take humans to use a ton of paper?
Not long.
Think about
1 hour in a lawyer's
packaging.
office.
Yeah.
There is a website called The World Counts, and they have counters of trees that are being cut down, paper that's being used, blah, 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 on and on, child labor. I mean, it's just like page after page of. It's a depressing little website,
Yes,
but
it
it's
is.
interesting to look at because there I found out that in the last 15 seconds, humans have used 200 tons of paper.
It reminds me of those notifications, percentage-wise, like right now, like after every second or minute, this and this are happening right now. Like 3 or 4 thousands of trees have died.
We're not just talking about writing paper, newspaper, and books. We're talking about all the packaging.
Packaging and toilet paper.
Picture your local Walmart.
Kind of feel like the Griffin.
How many tons of paper do you think is in that one building?
One store.
And that's 17 trees per ton.
And we just throw it out like that.
All right? So recycle as often as you can. We must save our Mother Gaia. And we must let companies know. And when we choose to buy something because it's in one little biodegradable cellophane wrapper, they can make them out of bamboo, they can make them out of hemp. They can make them out of things that you can actually put in your garden and use to fertilize the soil. You choose to buy that product over the one that's wrapped in 3 coats of plastic and 6 coats of cardboard, and let that company know, I'm not buying your product
Fight with
because
the money,
of the packaging. It has nothing to do with the product. I'd love to use your product, but I'm not going to buy it because of the packaging. I'll buy this other thing.
Use
Because there's always another thing.
Yeah, the money, that's where it hurts them.
So that is definitely something we can do.
And it says using internet resources also helps. She uses ecosia.org because they are the search engine that plants trees. We had that set up for a while. Like every time you search for something, every search helps plant a tree.
All right. Put that in the Grove. Everybody needs to use that as their search engine. Save a tree.
Please put the name of that in the chat so we can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's in
she's
there.
got it in there under www.ecosia.org.
You know, I'm reminded of Michael Jackson at this point. This man was trying to be the king of pop, right? So he was one of the celebrities that was doing environmental stuff way back in the 80s before it even was hip to do this stuff. He was way ahead of the curve on this thing, and it's pretty cool.
So let's all keep that in mind when when we have an option to go paperless. When we would rather look at it on our phones instead of printing it out. I'm slowly getting. I was old school, man. I'm an old person, right? And I want that hard copy in my hand. Look, I have it right here, a hard copy in my hand. But you know what? This is going to be folded in half and cut. This is going to be my scrap paper, and I have lots of ideas on the back of these papers. Every piece of paper is used at least twice.
They're starting to do that with my work now, doing the transportation. I mean, initially it was we got the paper, we sign it in, and then faxing it. But now they got the website going. You can email the information, and then everything is done online. It saves paper that way. So.
Yep. So another thing we can do is eat local produce and less meat. I know I don't like that one either, but if you can grow your own food and eat less meat and buy locally, it's not only healthier for you, but it also saves all that transportation where you're getting, like Florida's known for their oranges, but we get oranges from Chile, or we get oranges from someplace else. They have to be shipped here. The whole thing is crazy.
Yeah.
The grocery store produce is crazy. Just go to the farmer's market and buy fresh produce.
Or can't you just? Isn't there a way to grow your own oranges, like an orange tree in your backyard?
Well, yep. You can have a food forest, like it takes doing. First of all, you have to have the space, and then you have to have you got to work it. It's a full-time job.
I imagine it's different than say making like a flower pot or whatever. You like a tree and whatnot. So,
Yeah, I think about
And you
that
have to wait for
sometimes.
the tree to grow up.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
Yeah. Sometimes I think about that when we eat our one cucumber or our two tomatoes or something. I'm like, if we were trying to feed ourselves, we would starve to death. It was like, we would have to be out there every day
Yep.
and planting things that you could just eat the sprouts of, just like keep planting. So,
Pretty soon I will have an assistant gardener.
yeah.
A tree.
A tree helping in the garden.
A new tree is coming to your yard.
A tree helping.
Plant trees. Trees are air-making machines.
Yes. And cleaning.
That those
And
acorns
they're
you
pretty.
just
Cleaning.
put them in the ground.
And they're pretty.
Milk jugs make good planters too. That's,
Oh,
Yep.
yep.
They do.
Support your local
What makes
farmers
good
markets and garden growers.
milk jugs.
Absolutely. Yeah. Use green cleaning products. So you're not spraying all those chemicals into the air. Because when everybody's doing that,
Well, the hairspray back in the 80s just.
no more hairspray. Just let it go. It's fine the way it is. Change your air filters often. Not only in the house, but in the car. Because that will make your car run cleaner. Air filters. Very important. And raise awareness. Tell people that you're doing these things. Get on Facebook. I bought this product because look at this packaging. It's just like one piece of paper and I can use it to start my fire, Save the if you recycle what you can, make fire starters, just use it.
I mean, and that's the other thing as well. It's important that once we're doing this stuff, that for those who I can't because big farmers like that. Well, then you're the first step. Then you'd be the one going, okay, well, I'm not gonna. That can't be an excuse. It's like yeah.
These big companies, they want to sell their product. Right?
Yeah.
And if enough people, tell them, I'll buy your product if
Yeah.
you cut the packaging in half, they're going to cut. Is that going to save them? It's incentive for them.
That's what the whole organic thing is all about because enough people are like, we want healthy organic, and now the company just have to, okay, now everything.
Now so many, because trans fats, actually, trans fats were created so that crackers and cookies wouldn't break, so they could use less packaging and save money. But unfortunately, it clogs your arteries and kills you. So now it's hard to find anything with trans fats in it.
Yeah, those are like created in like where?
And then all they did was, instead of more packaging, they just put less cookies in the package.
The more that you think about these things that are out there, at least in this country, it's horrible. Like chocolate to preserve things, paraffin wax to get this thing. It's like we don't even know.
We don't know. So grow your own food.
Yeah.
Cook from scratch. Go to the farmer's market, get your food, bring it home, cook it yourself. Any other suggestions from anybody? We have a spell to do.
There was a really neat thing that I saw that I'm going to do in the back with 2-liter bottles, and you can make a hanging garden.
Oh yes.
And I have an old like tea thing from a old clothesline, but there's only one of them. So we put a tire swing on one side, and we're going to make this garden on the other.
Oh,
Nice.
how wonderful.
A question.
Might reuse everything.
As far as pets are concerned, what about? I've heard rumors of organic litter for kitties and like organic food kind of things. Like how would
Low dust.
Low dust litter.
Yeah,
Low dust
yeah.
litter.
Yeah,
That's
lightweight, low dust litter. Feline pine,
Yeah.
shredded. Some people have now taken to using shredded paper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's lots of choices out there. You just have to look for them.
I remember being a little girl and watching my grandmother do a garden every single year, and she would grow so much, but then she went and canned it.
There you go.
And reused what she had.
Right.
So she wasn't being wasteful, but she also was on a limited budget because of her disability. It actually helped her.
I remember you telling me stories about that, and like not only that, but she made enough for the poor people that she were neighbors, and she would be like giving it out to free of charge.
Spread it around. Yep.
Yes. Okay, so does everyone have something that represents air to them?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, let's gather around the table.
Okay.
Now, this is a spell for the lungs of the earth. And some folks say the lungs of the earth is the rainforest. Right? Others say it's the ocean because it's full of plankton. Little trees. Little baby trees. I'm still on the side of trees. Trees are the lungs of the planet. They take in our carbon dioxide and they release oxygen. Oh my God.
And they do just the opposite of what we do.
Exactly. It's almost like we were meant to live on this
Together.
planet with them. In the forest, in the jungle, in
The mighty jungle.
Yeah, and that maybe not
Shockingly,
so much cement should have been ever used.
Trees are our kin.
Yes.
We share this planet together because we're both children of the earth.
Absolutely. So we have an altar here to air, and I have an air invocation that I'm going to read. And we have a collection of things. Everybody has something that... You taking mine? All right, go ahead. I'll take this.
I want that one.
Okay, true.
Trade with you. There you go.
Do
Give
that.
that to.
Yes.
All right. So we have a collection now. Folks at home on Zoom land, you are plugged into the speaker so we can hear you too. So we're going to go around clockwise. We'll start with Amethyst. We'll go around clockwise. So then after Carl, then you guys take turns. Carl, you'll call their names, and so that you can say your part. And this is what each person will do.
All right.
Each participant will hold up their item and declare, "I call for the health of the lungs of the earth with this pumice stone, because it is a piece of the earth infused with air." So we'll go around. Now, if you're not cool with that, you can just say, "I call for the health of the lungs of the earth," or say huzzah, or me too, or yeah, all right, or yay, or good to go. I'm not putting anybody on the spot here. That's lava rock. She's prepared. Okay.
If nothing else, we've got all these critters here to help out.
After we all go around, then Birch is going to give us an ode to the lungs of the earth that she wrote, and it is gorgeous. I read it. You will die and laugh and cry and everything else. And while she's reading it, we are going to breathe deeply, in and out. Just practice your breathing. You can close your eyes, or you can hold on to your representation. Just like circular breathing, like from the diaphragm, in and out. And then we will give thanks to the element of the air with a clap and a howl. And that will be our ritual. What do you think? We're good?
This tree can howl.
This is a howling tree tonight.
I know this.
All right.
What am I saying?
Well, we can start with me, so then okay. And so you're second, okay. And then we'll go all the way around, and then everybody at home. You'll call their names, and they'll say it. All right. Spirit of air, feathers and winds, your power animates all life and populates all spaces. I call you forth to serene my ideas, to clear my mind, sweep away the old, bring a refreshing breath of life, so that your power can flow into me, in tune with the music of the universe, in the ebb and flow of your eternal words, clarity, strength, harmony. Spirit of air, spirit of wisdom, I call you now. I call for the health of the lungs of the earth with this pumice stone, because this is a piece of the earth infused with air. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Mote it be.
Carl.
I call for the health of the lungs of the earth with this horn. There it is. Because it moves the air and calls all to action. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Would be.
I call for the health of the lungs of the earth with this peacock feather that has the eye of wisdom for all to see, and my pen and paper, so that when I receive the wisdom, I make note of it, because otherwise I'll never remember.
So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Call for the health.
I call for the health lungs of the earth with this smudge and fan, for the ancestors who gave their lives for us, and to all relations to us, let us clean our airs.
So
Mote it be.
I call for the health of the lungs of the earth with this owl, because long has he guarded my homes from the skies.
So mote it be.
So mote
So
it
mote it
be.
be.
I call upon the health of the lungs of the earth with this sage bundle, as the old dead wood must burn to make way for the new life, so too this earth shall be cleansed to make way for positive, wonderful things and new growth. So mote it be.
I call for the health of the lungs of the earth with this lava rock, because it is infused with air. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Would be.
All right, I'm going to start right here at the top of the list of names. Linda Halfpenny.
Okay, I'm not going to be able to remember all that. So I'm going to just say that.
Health of the lungs of the earth.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
I call for the health of the lungs of the earth.
Maybe type it in the chat.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed.
No.
All right.
We all stumbled even here in person. Yeah. It's okay.
Oh well, anyway, I'm just going to say that this represents the freedom of people, of law of the world, that the air will receive their freedom and love and compassion. So mote it be.
So
Mote it be.
Next, Anne.
I call for the health of the lungs of the earth with this ostrich feather, because it was once attached to a beautiful bird that flapped its wings and moved the air in circles around the world to help spawn creativity and love. So mote it be.
So mote it
Mote it be.
Shinnok.
I call for the health of the lungs of the earth with this canary, because its voice is beautiful and brings joy to the world.
So mote it be.
Nice. Raven Storm Song.
I call for the health of the lungs of the earth with this feather that came from a turkey vulture that takes the old and dead and helps rebuild the new.
Nice.
So mote it be.
Mote it be. Diana.
I called for the health of the lungs of the earth with this beautiful green feather that belonged to a bird that flew in the air, the way our imagination flies and helps us manifest our desires.
So
So
mote
mote
it
it be.
So mote it be.
Leah?
I call for the health of the lungs of the earth with this bell, as its tinkle vibrates the air and protects all that hear it.
So mote it be.
Alana?
Call for the health of the lungs of the earth with this bell to represent my wind chimes that bring peace to their surroundings.
So mote it be.
Next. Brune?
I call for the health of the lungs of the earth with eggshells. For they come from the birds. Eggs are the potential of future life, and with them I make my plants grow.
So mote it be.
Janelle? There's something going on with... Is Janelle there?
Go to the next
Okay,
person.
we'll go to the next one. And Moss.
Don't forget to unmute yourself, folks.
Yeah, that might be what's going on.
Is Moss still with us?
Is Moss still there?
She may have fallen asleep.
Nope, there she is up there. Now
Okay,
she's
next
down
one.
here again. All right, Moss. That's the end of it.
That's Moss is the last person.
Okay, everybody done? All right. So now, let's everybody start our deep breathing. We're breathing for the Mother Earth, for Gaia. We are taking in her breath and out, in and out, as Birch reads to us an ode to the lungs of the earth.
An ode to the lungs of the earth. Call we now the barked ones, the needle growers, the leaf droppers. Call we now the tall siblings, graceful and sleek, children of earth and wind. Call we now the branched home of birds and beasts, cradlers of moss and orchid. Call we now the shade givers, the wind whisperers, the root delvers. Blessed be to oak and mangrove and cypress. Blessed be to palm and gumbo limbo and pine. Blessed be to redwood, to Joshua, to aspen and chestnut. Blessed be to the green denizens of rainforest, of taiga, of temperate forest. All honor to the ancients, Sarve Abaku, Pando, Gran Abuelo, and Luengernu Yu, likewise, Jerupa Oak and Old Tajiko. And to those who have dropped from the sky to the earth, we recall you, Senator, Prometheus, and all who faded from life unnamed, be honored here. All praise to the grandfathers and grandmothers of the forest. Praise to you for the air you give, the words rattled on your leaves, and the song of your roots. May acorns fall ever on fertile soil, and rich be the nutrients along your roots. For you are the bridge between above and below, the child of the air and the wind, which sows in your branches, and of the rich soil Mother gives to you, that you may kiss the sky. Long may you dwell in your forested homes. Hail, O trees, and let our prayer be carried on your wind. Blessed be, so mote it be.
So mote it be.
We give thanks to the element of air. We are thankful and grateful for your presence. May we always do what we can to keep you clean and healthy. We will break now with a clap and we will send our vibrations out to you. And as always, we thank you, element of air. 1, 2, 3, clap! All right. Thank you, everyone, for all your attention to the element of air. We have now worked with it physically and metaphysically. May the mother's breath sustain us for many generations to come. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Blessed be. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Birch, for that beautiful ode.
Yes.
Oh, you are welcome from the trees.
Do you speak for the trees?
I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I am the birch. I am of the trees. I am the wolf who guards the trees with tooth and claw.
Ooh. Don't mess with the trees.
And I was a
Takes your
Lorax
job
couple
very
times, but I guess not.
Very seriously.
All right, thank you, everybody. Anybody got anything else to add tonight?
We need lots of Loraxes.
Thank you. This was
Elba.
wonderful.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.
Very enjoyable. Thank you so much.
And next week we're going to do fire.
Woo-hoo.
Fire.
Fire.
Ooh.
It's right there. Fire.
Unless they like that kind of thing.
Okay.
Let's close up quick.
We will
Close our
Have a
circle.
good
Oh, we gotta
evening,
close the
everyone.
circle. We're not
We will
leaving yet. We
close
gotta
the-
close the circle
We will close
first.
the circle. All right. Blow out this candle, but hold it dear, for everyone gathered here. From this grove we do depart, but keep its lessons in our heart. Blessed be the Lord be, Mary meet, Mary part, and Mary meet again.
Mary, meet again.
Thank you, Elba.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Everyone be well, and we are out.